Our main competitor is literally the person sitting next to an employee in their workplace. South Africans often think of loan sharks as shadowy figures that sit at the bus stop. But in fact, often they're your colleagues that sit right next to you at work. And so what happens is we need to have a product that is more convenient for employees than actually leaning over to the person next to them. And that means you need to use best-in-class financial technology. And that's where Stitch comes in. That means that instead of leaning over to their colleague, an employee can make a request in less than 20 seconds on WhatsApp, and they can get their money in their bank account in a couple of minutes.
My name is Nunzu Mshimkulu. I head up the customer department at Jem. Jem HR basically is trying to digitize HR services. We also then have a service that's called Earned Wage Access, which is basically giving those employees a portion of their salary to use for emergencies during any point in the month, essentially. And that's where Stitch comes in.
So we work with Jem across all of their money movement needs. It's been really nice to see how that's grown. We started and we were just working with them with standard day payouts, so it would take 1 to 2 days before their end users would get their money. We then started to work with them for their collections, them getting B2B collections from the employers trying to pay them back. We started to work with them for a payouts facility. So we're able to provide them access to do these payouts even when they won't necessarily have the liquidity, they haven't necessarily been paid by these employers yet. And finally, now we're working with them for real-time payouts. So their end users can get their money 24/7, 365 in less than 2 minutes.
The one thing we did do right at the beginning was we decided we were going to customize this product for South Africa. So it was a concept used overseas, but actually we felt that South Africans needed the product more urgently because of how close to the breadline many employees live, even though they're gainfully employed. And so now we serve about 120,000 employees across the SADC region, South Africa and our surrounding countries.
The way their business is structured and the way their business model works is they need to process payouts to these employees during the month, but they only collect at the end of the month, which requires a lot of capital, especially if you sign big enterprises.
Stitch, working closely with Jem, having a really deep understanding of how their business works, sat and designed a product that we essentially allow them to access capital in advance through Stitch's facility so that they can enable these early payouts before the employer actually pays Jem.
How it works is essentially us lending money to a payroll is much lower risk than consumer credit. And so we take advantage of that price difference to offer employees access to their wages at 1/10 of the cost of what they would pay on the open market from either a regulated payday lender or a loan shark, which is in fact what most of them do.
If it wasn't for Stitch, we definitely would not be able to manage this process manually. Stitch has really been able to help us form out a lot of automation onto our system, which means that when we get it from the employee, it's connected directly to API to then go and pay that end user. If we didn't have Stitch, I'd say it would take us about 72 hours to pay a single transaction to our employees.
Now our payouts product is the first product in market that you can request a payout and get the money in your bank account in less than 2 minutes. We've been able to enable that by working across multiple banks, multiple rails to ensure that we always have uptime, to ensure that the payouts always execute, and you as the business never need to worry about that.
Well, interestingly, obviously we use both the same-day payout as well as the instant payout. By far, the instant payouts are more useful. And when you look at our data, you see that a spike in the interest comes really early in the morning when people are trying to get transport to work. So these are employees that work in industries where they start work quite early in the morning. And if they have run out of money because they are on low incomes, they have no other way to get to work.
When we started the journey, we had a philosophy that if Stitch really wants to be successful in the payment space, we need to be able to partner in a way that goes deeper than just focusing on the product that we provide. And I think what we have today in our partnership with Jem is evident from that.
We've known the Stitch team since the earliest days when there were just a handful of people in an office, and so were we. And so our relationship has been fantastic along the way, but we've also grown. So we highly value the fact that Stitch is at the absolute leading edge of payments in South Africa, and that's where we need to be.
The way we see working with enterprise clients at Stitch is we really push to become an extension of their team. We pride ourselves on giving each client a unique white glove experience in terms of the way we work with them. It's not one sort of approach fits all.
Without Stitch, we cannot put our most important product out into the market. The fact that Stitch makes it possible for us to actually offer this product that is benefiting so many people, that gives us the stories to tell. So yeah, that's what matters at the end of the day for us.